Welcome to the podcast with Dewey Bredeson, who is running for State Assembly, Madison, District 76. Good afternoon, Dewey. How are you?
Thanks, Pam. I'm doing well. It's
Awesome.
good to see you again.
Good to see you too. So today we're going to talk a little bit more with you, and this time about restoring UW-Madison back to its prestige, if you will. And can you just walk us through the history of UW-Madison a little bit to start?
Sure. The University of Wisconsin started out in Madison as one of the original land grant universities in 1849. Now there are 170,000 students spread over 13 universities and across 26 campuses. The annual budget is $6 billion per year, and the state funds about $1 billion of that. And gifts and contracts and grants make up another $1.9 billion. The university system awards 36,000 degrees a year. And that's where it is now.
Great. So how have you personally seen it change throughout the years, being that you've lived in Madison for many years?
Sure. So tuition has increased since the days I attended the university in the late 70s and early 80s. Of course, now there is a tuition freeze for all in-state students. And so it's not going up as much, but it's that affects the budget in other ways. So over the last decade, the percentage that the state has contributed to the university has also declined. Mm-hmm. So it used to be in a top 5 research university, and it has fallen out of that, and that is sad to see.
Right. And how would you say the current pandemic, COVID-19, has impacted or disrupted UW-Madison lately?
Okay, so this fall, last spring, the university closed and started putting all of its classes online. They didn't close, but they put all their classes online, mm-hmm. Except for some that absolutely had to be taught in person. And this fall, they're going to be going, what the plan is right now, and that still could change. They're planning to go with a hybrid method where they have some classes online and some classes in person. But there's a great deal of expenses that they've had to expend more for having this COVID, and then they've got less income from the housing units. So it's been more expensive for them. And then on the other side of the coin, there's a big hole in the state budget, and the state legislature has already taken back $40 million of the money that they had promised them for in the budget this year. Which is a far greater percent that they've taken from anyone else.
Okay. And, just out of curiosity, I know we've talked about housing before, but in hearing your answer, I'm just wondering, how is that going to impact housing if going forward things are online and then maybe students don't live in Madison? And do you see any impacts there?
So for housing, it's been up in the air as to whether or not the university is going to be having classes or not, and it's still not for sure. So many students haven't signed leases, or they've been kind of waiting to hold off. And then students that have signed leases are wondering if they're really going to need them, because they could just be, back home living with their parents or in their hometowns if the university does not reopen. But it looks like at this point the university is going to be offering enough classes that many students are still going to need to be here. So
right. I know education is a big foundation and pillar of what you're campaigning on. How would you help when you're elected? How would you help with UW-Madison's funding? So
like I said before, the university has fallen out of the top 5 research universities in the United States. Mm-hmm. And that is sad.
Yes.
So for too long, the Republicans have fought to make the university the enemy, using it as a wedge to divide the state. We have the Wisconsin idea here, though the Republicans also tried to get rid of that a few years back. The University of Wisconsin is there to help all of the citizens of Wisconsin. That's one of their core missions, which is what the Wisconsin idea is. Mm-hmm. So we need to climb back on top to be back in the top 5 research universities, and it's harder to climb back on top than to stay there. The state puts in over $1 billion a year in economic benefit, and the economic benefit from the university is over $24 billion a year. 24 times is an amazing return. Where else can you do that? So the university is the economic engine of the state and this region, and it needs to improve.
Agreed, definitely. I've noticed that no other candidates that you're campaigning against are have this restoring UW Madison back to its prestige as a campaign pillar. Why is this so important to you and your community?
Well, like I just told you, that it is such a large economic impact for this region and the state. It provides for many new jobs in clean industries and tech industries. And plus, there are many students that live in this district. There are many people that work at the university live in this district. It includes my district includes a couple of the large dormitories for the university and a few of the buildings. Most of it is just outside of the district, but it really does affect this district quite a bit.
Right.
So I don't really know why no one else has stressed it at all.
Well, it's great to hear how much you care about education and UW-Madison. The university is such a big part of the city. So I think it's great that you're campaigning on this, and I hope that your message gets out to everyone. So where can we all find out more about you?
You can visit my website at vote.deweyforassembly.com. That's deweyforassembly.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Dewey. It's always a pleasure. Best of luck. Campaigns are ending soon, so rooting for you.
Thanks, Pam.